Woohoo! So today, Final Fantasy 7.3 MSQ day. Let's go. I'm gonna get my controller and then just sit back and just relax and play some games. I'm guessing the audio is fine considering that the green thing is like shaking. I'm guessing somewhere around there. Or maybe there. Yup. Key. Just gonna... And we are back. It has been a while since I've played Final Fantasy XIV. At least fully. I'm just waiting for the new content to drop though, so... that's that. So, yeah. Well, let us just begin, shall we? Just a quick moment. I think I might want to add something. Let me just drag that there. Okay, that should be fine. Okay, so the next main scenario quest to do is to target the tragedy. So yeah, let's do that. Why did I leave the teleportation place? That is something I would do. Because I'm dumb like that. I have to go to Neonstein. Oh, okay, the map is down there. Everyone is converging right there. You can kind of know where you're supposed to go depending on how many players is in one spot. Yes, I will be going to the back rooms. Okay, let me see. Do I have enough? 721. I hope at least is enough. Wait, I should probably use there. 715. Let's see. We shall see. Target the tragedy. If you have a moment, Can. Geode wants to take stock of the current crisis. Oblivion may be lacking the finer details in certain areas, so we'd like you to lend your perspective to the conversation. That should be fine. I am a conversationalist, if that's what you call it. Sorry to drag you into our meeting, but we need to get a better handle on the threats Alexandria is facing right now. Not at all. Much has happened since the state funeral, and a clearer idea of where things stand would be beneficial for us all. First things first then, let's discuss the state of the machine malfunctions. Every single sector reported instances of sentries attacking citizens without provocation, and vehicles suddenly becoming unresponsive to controls. And while these malfunctions were resolved fairly quickly, they nevertheless resulted in a considerable number of injuries and deaths. But you haven't heard anything about new incidents since then, right? Right. No additional reports have been logged, as far as I know. That's the good news. So the Calyx is like, for 4 months, it's like, I'm just gonna chillax, do nothing. The bad news is, I tried to take control of the soldiers when they started hurting people, but they wouldn't listen to me, even though I have the king's authority. Once things calmed down, I was finally able to make them give up their weapons. But if it happens again, I don't know if they'll ignore me like before. The King of Results authority is about the highest there is. Who is this man that can override it with such impunity? Calyx. He lived in the age of the storm surge, as I did. Calyx. Lest you forget, he was known for his advancements in electrope technology, and it was he who established preservation for the purpose of furthering his research. The wasting disease which afflicted him, however, was said to leave him scant years left to live. He must have chosen to undergo conversion into an endless, that he might continue his efforts into the present day. Preservation's early goals seemed noble enough, exploring treatments of living sickness, designing Everkeep's core system, that sort of thing. Why harm the people he was ostensibly trying to help? I do not pretend to fully understand Calyx's motivations, only that he appeared incensed by what he saw as mankind's failings. He asserted that the strategy of adapting our species through generational succession was outdated, that evolution now requires us to forsake bodies of flesh in favor of eternal preservation. We have already seen how his employed is simulant to convince Alexandrians that endless conversion is the only hope of survival. Eternal life is assured for the 5,000 who registered their neo-regulators. But this is merely one part of Calyx's greater plan. He wants the key to interdimensional fusion. With that relic in his possession, he will draw ether from the reflections and expand his efforts to create endless 1,000-fold. If we mean to foil Calyx's schemes, then our only option is to determine where he's hiding and put him down. Which, unfortunately, is easier said than done. I've been scouring the terminal we found in the depths of Everkeep, but have failed to uncover even the slightest trace of his activities. Give me a little more time though, and I'm sure I can sniff him out. I'll help you! While Gurulja and Shale are working on that, I'm thinking we're gonna take a look around town. I want to make sure no new problems have cropped up, as well as search for any information that might lead us to Calyx. You're welcome to come along. Another malfunction could happen at any time, and I'd be glad to have some brawlers at my back. Yes, that's me. Big sword. Count me in. Raha and the others are helping Oblivion patrol the other levels of the keep. So shall we stick to the streets of Solution 9? Sounds like a plan. Thanks you two, I appreciate the company. I have to speak with the city's administrators about bringing in the Lance Guard. I want our soldiers around to protect those who are moving to Tuliolal. Alphino and Alice will be joining me for the meeting, so the three of us can cover the sector as soon as we're done. If I may, I'd like to join Ken's group, if you'll have me. No problem. The more mouths to ask questions, the merrier, as long as you're aware of the dangers. Thank you. I'll do my best not to be a burden. I'm worried about you, Geode. Don't do anything stupid. I won't do anything stupid. You change your tune once we get back with the goods on Calyx. Then the drinks are on you. Come on, let's continue this outside. Quest accepted, let's go! Oh yeah, I did that. Key, so it's just outside. Where's the door? Ah, there. I just wanted to quickly show that. Hey, Geode. Or Rock. Isn't Geode the top of Rock? Oh. Yes, what is it? Sorry, I was off in my own little world. Shall we get started? The people seem uneasy. Are you alright, Geode? I'm gonna ask that question to him. Me? I'm well enough, given the circumstances. It was the Queen's fondest wishes that the subject remain shielded from the horrors of death. And so they were for the longest time. Then, the moment mortality once again becomes an unavoidable fact of life, they are greeted with an outbreak of bloody violence. Many are bound to give the endless alternative serious consideration. Indeed, and I do not blame them for that. It is only natural that such thoughts should come to mind. What I cannot forgive is the way Calixes wield fear and misery to manipulate people into making that choice. Not one. No one, not Calix, nor anyone else, should dictate how we cope with the spectre of death. As one who lived as an Alexandrian, I wish to put the choices for this country's future back into the hands of its citizens. And you think we can handle that responsibility after everything you've seen of us? It is what I've seen that has convinced me you can. I awoke 4 centuries later to find our people living and laughing beneath Alexandria's banner. Though surprised and bewildered, I was overjoyed to see it so. You all deserve to be happy. Don't say that keyword happy, because everything is going to shit. you just know. Well then. We best to not let you down. Now, I suggest we move as a group. We don't know if or when a battle might find us. Oh, I believe someone came prepared for such eventuality. Oh, she has a book. Is that the grimoire you retrieved from an old castle? Yes, my parents gifted it to me when I was a child. They were adamant that I should learn to protect the things important to me. I was fortunate enough to have a tutor in arcane arts, so I lay claim to some small measure of skill. If that's the case, it might be better if we split into 2 groups after all. It would certainly be more efficient for information gathering. I guess that makes sense? The 2 of you can take the west side of the recreation zone then. Ken and I will take the east. Yay. Boys trip. Very well. We shall end our patrol in a plaza just past True View and await you there. Let's go. Let's do the rounds then. We'll see what's what and chat to the people we meet along the way. Pay special attention to anyone who looks overwhelmed or overly excited. Hopefully that will earn us a tidbit or 2 we didn't know before. Certain duties. Is that the new thing? Oh, it's the follow thing again. Follow me. We're going on an adventure, Geode. Adventure. Are the sentries and air wheelers safe to be around now? I just know it's going to happen again. And maybe next time I'll be the one who dies in a horrible accident. I need a regulator. Becoming endless is the only way, even Queen's Fiend said so. Why does me in such a fine mood, you ask? Well, I just registered my new regulator. I was leery of becoming nothing but memories at first, but now that we've gone through with the registration, I never felt more at ease. Also, once it was done, the regulator displayed the current numbers. Of the 5,000 slots available, over 3,800 have already been filled. So if you're still hesitant, you're not much time to make your mind up. Mark my words, friend. When there's only one few slots left, it's going to get very ugly. Wouldn't people that try to... Well, I don't think killing each other will help that much. Now, I know I can look at that, but I don't really want to bother. It's probably some tidbits or something. You want to hear my story? While I appreciate you offering a sympathetic air, there's not much to tell. If you must know, a good friend of mine died when those machines went crazy. His air wheel dropped right off to the sky and he didn't survive the crash. Damn fool wasn't wearing a regulator. I know that's not so strange these days, but he never bothered with one. He was at peace with the idea of dying someday, and I thought I understood what that meant, until it happened. Ken, a word? I feel like there's a few new factors in the stories we've heard. One we didn't consider during our discussion with everyone in the back room. That people still deathly afraid the fights are like to break out over no regulators. That the victim of the violence wasn't wearing a regulator. This one? Yes, that's it. The vast majority of residents have always worn regulators, so it's not the detail we normally think about. With the supply of souls cut off, though, more and more people have been going without them. We need to look into the casualties from the recent attacks, and check whether or not they were equipped with regulators. Let's ask around on the street over to the east. It was pretty chaotic at the time, but maybe we'll find eyewitnesses who can help us confirm if this was a pattern or not. Wait, does that mean that Calyx is intentionally going after people that does not have So Calyx is like, dude, go after the non-regulator ones, just to scare people. What, is this going to be a battle royale now? Because again, it's only 5,000 that can have the thing. Hello, are you today? Please let me know if you may be of service. Citywide casualty data unavailable. Government officials are currently processing reports from all affected zones. Can you narrow it down to the recreation then? You must have some estimates on hand. Recalibrating parameters. Injured 87 individuals. Casualties 19 individuals. Casualties equipped with regulators 0. What's wrong with that feller? Looks like someone's gotten themselves lost. Oi, you there! You wish to know if the people who died in a machine rampage were wearing regulators? I'm sorry, but I was assigned to clearing away debris. I didn't see any of the deceased. No bodies were present by the time I arrived, so I assume the ushers had already done their work. I do remember there being patches of white dust scattered about that were quite a chore to clean up, but nothing else worthy of mention. Ken, I think it's time we rejoin Kryl and Sven. I was half joking with my boast to Shale, but we may have stumbled upon something major here. We should share our findings and keep pursuing this avenue of inquiry. Didn't Kral say to meet them in the plaza just outside of True View? Let's get going. True View, going True View. I'm gonna be honest there, while this place is cool, it's also massively huge. Like, unnecessarily so. They could have shrinked it to at least, like, I don't know, one third or fourth or fifth or something. So, essentially, you're saying that the people who were killed by malfunctioning machines weren't wearing regulators? Yeah, pretty much. That's it, yeah. Well, the numbers are still tentative, and only apply to that one zone. We don't know how they stack up against the overall data, but this is definitely more than a coincidence. I think it's safe to say that anyone who had removed their regulators was a priority target. Now that you mention it, the person I was treating for injuries wasn't wearing one either. But why? Why are they being targeted over everyone else? Based solely on a lack of a neo-regulator, we cannot judge if a person has no desire to become endless, or if they simply fail to acquire one of the limited devices. But those who wear no regulators at all, they have clearly rejected the old system of using souls to revive themselves. Put another way, they have chosen to live their lives in the knowledge that death is an inevitability. I can't read. The chances of such resolute people would wish to become endless are far lower, I would imagine. And so Calyx has chosen those least likely to accept his vision as victims to stoke fear and panic. But there was no need to kill anyone. With the way things were, the people were already fearful enough. We could have found 5,000 willing citizens without all this madness. You make a good point. Perhaps this sowing of terror is in service to another scheme. Or he had some other need for the lives he has taken. What of the dust found at various sites? Right, this sanitation worker story. She saw no bodies, but mentioned piles of white dust. Dust, but no bodies? Now, we haven't heard that before. Do you recall when we went to save Erenville from the sentries in the outskirts? That usher, Malachite, told us much the same thing. When I arrived, I found no body, only a pile of dust, which the wind quickly scattered. Confused, I questioned the residents, but none knew what had become of it. That both stories speak of missing remains is suspicious enough, but the shared mention of this dust is too much to ignore. In that case, we should confirm if this substance was present at other sites, and attempt to ascertain its nature. Following this thread may lead us not only to an explanation for the missing bodies, but also the intent behind Calix's murderous actions. Yes, what is it? Ken, we need your help. I've lost control over the soldiers in a residential area. They might be trying to hurt people again. Oblivion members are on their way now, but are you close enough to join them? Damn it! Our new investigation will have to wait. Let's go. Let's freaking go! Battle time. No.
Stay back! Stay away from me! Leave him alone!
Are you all right?
What happened here?
A sentry walked into my apartment, even though I'd locked the door and everything. I managed to run, but the man who tried to save me...
No weapons, which is to be expected, considering all the sentries were meant to be disarmed. Yet it was ordered to attack all the same, even if that meant using its bare hands.
I'll leave matters here to you. I'm going to do a sweep of the surrounding area.
Well, be careful, Geode.
Do you know anyone else in this sector who no longer wears a regulator?
Oh, I don't think I've seen Isadora and her boy with theirs recently.
Oh.
Go to them, quickly!
Oh crap! It's the mom and the kid. Oh. Wait, what was her name again? I've forgotten. Ah, well, of course I can't remember that.
I'll be fine. But Isadora's in bad shape. Mother, please.
Isadora! Oh, thank goodness. She wasn't struck anywhere vital.
I'm sorry. If only I'd gotten here sooner.
Everything will be all right. I promise to make your mother better.
Thank you, miss. Will she sleep like that forever?
No, not forever. She'll wake soon, I'm sure of it.
That's good to hear. Thank you for saving her.
Oh. The Promise of Tomorrow. Forgive me, I was reckless. I shouldn't have had time wasting tending my wounds as well. Did you see our other comrades back there? He stayed behind in the lobby, but I heard the sounds of fighting. I am sorry. He must have fallen protecting the residents. The endless choice. Our comrade, you think he may have been struck down? If he is wounded or worse, I should go to him. Wait, please. It isn't safe as you still need rest. Will you stay with Milos or watch over Isadora for me? We will tend to your friend. Thank you. Please be careful yourself. Let's go. Wait. Man, I'm not used to this setup or HUD layout. I always check like far left when it's down right. Isadora is going to be alright then. I'm so glad. I've just finished my ministrations here. Our Oblivion comrade was beyond the saving, I'm afraid. Yeah, what I thought was a bit weird is that why did the other robot fight against the other one? For like a split second that happened. That brave soul. He gave his life to save another. He died protecting me. I don't understand why any of this is happening. That century was behaving normally, like any other. Then, all of a sudden, it tried to kill me. Whipple saw no. Calix commanded them to commit murder. Is it over? What came as soon as Wayakwe sent word? I am sorry. By the time we arrived, it was already too late. Then Geode could be in trouble too. Once we have this radius locked down, we need to find him. Oh yeah, Geode. But why? Has something happened? Possibly. We're not sure what, but he stopped responding to our communications. We need to prioritize securing the residential sector though, at least until we regain control over the sentries. Then we should search for Geode. I agree. Since most Oblivion members have sworn off regulators, if our theory holds true, then they could be prime targets for the next attack. Please do what you can to shepherd the residents to safety, but avoid the sentries at all costs. Our thanks. Here, take these communicators. How many link pearls do I have on me now? We made modifications to them to prevent Calyx from intercepting the signal, and have been using them to coordinate movements with allies in the vicinity. Wayakwe has one too, so I'll ask her to keep hailing Geode. Good luck and stay safe. Geo said he would sweep the surrounding area, so he shouldn't have ventured too far. Let's get going. Let's go! We need to find Geode. You see no sign of Geode, perhaps you should search further east. Oh wait, that's not east. This is east. Wait, so does that mean that east is... okay, I need to remember east is right. Well, there's a bunch of people over there. Geode? Geode, answer me. There's no response. Perhaps you should continue your research further to the east. This is a highly stressful situation. So here I am just having a nighttime stroll. Oh, he's still alive at least.
This is the only place left. Let them be safe.
Geode, are you there? Answer me, please.
I'm here. Sorry for the long silence. I've been busy.
Oh, you're alive. Thank the gods. Where are you now?
The radius next door. The lobby is secure. I'll scout the second floor. Then I'll join it. Dust.
Dust? What are you talking about? What's happening?
They're not just collecting souls. They're draining the bodies of corporeal ether. The dust that we saw was all that was left of the victims. They must have modified the soul cells. Shit.
Does this guy have...
Damn you!
Why the frick are you throwing your weapon? Why not just use it like as a sledgehammer or something?
You can't be here! You need to run now!
Oh.
A trap!
Are we going to play as Geode now?
Take care of the others, eh?
Geode, you know, you could at least try to get away from them. Are we too late?
No sign of him so far. This way, maybe?
Crap, don't tell me he turned into dust.
Geode!
Oh. Was that him? They haven't shown that.
A shame. I had hoped to leave here with at least one more cell's worth of ether. But seeing how eager you are to interfere, I shall cut this foray short.
Yo, Edge Boy.
Calyx. What could you possibly stand to gain from these atrocities?
Ether sufficient to generate 5,000 endless. How would you acquire it?
How would I?
Wait, so the only way to create those neo-regulators is to remove the ones that does not have regulators? Is that what I'm thinking?
Until I have the key, the reflections are closed to me. Thus do I make do with the sources at hand. 7% of Alexandria's current population will yield the energy to convert 5,000 into endless. With 11%, operations could continue unabated for 800 years. Our bodies are fated to decay sooner or later. These ones refuse the gift of eternal life, so what difference does it make if I return them to ether now?
Oh, that's messed up.
I will not waste time and resources on meaningless conflict. This unit cannot offer you worthwhile resistance. Instead, I pose a question. Would you hand over the key if I promise to halt my harvest?
Halt. No, you should stop the harvest, not halt the harvest, you freaking nugget. I will halt the harvest by defeating you.
It was foolish of me to even ask. I return to my work then. There is much to do if I must take the key by force.
Wait, what if we take the androids with us and then we stuff that thing inside? This pile of dust, these ashes, and a soul cell he left behind. Was that his twisted way of returning Geo to us? You need to turn off the sound. Because I also feel like that can also mess up your perception of it. Damn you, Calyx. Damn you and your careless cruelty. But how do we know it's him? He was our friend. Even so, some might say every death was justified if it meant 5,000 endless could continue their immortal lives. And if a reflection's stolen ether allowed for many more endless, why, that too would be a noble sacrifice for the greater good. Who could think that? Calyx, I presume. Not I. Certainly not I. We know only too well, there is naught noble in this sacrifice. We have to stop him. We have to find Calyx and put an end to this madness as soon as possible. And under no circumstances can we let the key fall into his possession, Ken. It falls to us. We must. We will thwart his plan here in Alexandria before he can terrorize innocents in reflections elsewhere. My memories and yours. We should return to the back room. Shale and the others need to know what happened. Yes, I'll ask Wayakwe to meet us there as well. But how do we know Geode is actually dead? Because we didn't see him die, we just saw dust, that's it.
Our dear Geode. The soldiers. If only I'd been able to control them.
This isn't your fault, Gololja. The blame lies with Calyx, and with him alone. It's all so senseless. Why force his plans upon us when we're already happy? Living our lives. What does he even think life is? I'll never forgive Calyx for doing this. Or myself for being powerless to stop him.
Wait, where are you going?
To clear my head. Don't worry, I won't do anything stupid.
You're probably going to do something stupid. They always do that.
Stay here and get some rest. I'll make sure nostalgia stays out of trouble. Thank you.
Okay, why is she called Nostalgia and she is called Wayakwe? That's an interesting choice of names.
Things would have been far worse if you and Geode hadn't rushed in there. Many people are still alive because of you. And after adding what you discovered to the leads we've dug up, I'm hopeful we can determine where Calyx is hiding. But not right now. We need time before we can move on. Just a little time.
Oh, Geode.
Oh, hey, Ranvel, I didn't see you there. Another comrade gone. Some days it's almost more than I can bear. Geode was. He was an older brother to Nostalgia and me. Shale knew him longer though, and is surely taking it the hardest. And that's on top of what happened with Coffee. God damn it, I don't remember. Do you think you could check on her? See how she's doing? She's like to put on a brave face if it's me or my sister. Shale. How you doing? Apologies. My mind was elsewhere. We need to press on with a hunt of Calyx, but I can't seem to focus. I should be better than this, I know. Is there anything I can do? Give you a cup of tea or something? You can't help yourself, can you? Still, I appreciate the concern. Kakuias used to say the best thing to do with grief was to let it all out. So, I think I'll take myself over to the earth and sky and say my goodbyes to Geode. Why don't you come along? I could use someone to blubber to if you've a shoulder to spare. Yep, I'm the new therapy session guy. Right, then, let's get out of every keep for a bit. Hi, Shale. It's a fair trek on foot, so I've arranged for a couple of air-wheelers. I've had the communications module removed, so even Calyx shouldn't be able to seize control of them. Say the word and we'll set off. Yay! These air-wheelers are Genolt's babies. You won't find a smooth rider in all the Everkeep. For years now, I've been taking one of a turn whenever I needed to lighten my mood. Sometimes Geode would come along too, and we end up racing. Does that surprise you? Our friendship always had a competitive edge. We would often talk about how, one day, we might fly our wheelers down at the drone or some things. I didn't read that correctly. Almost there. Be sure the ground is clear before you touch down. Phew, that helps to clear my head a touch. You know, Ken, you might be the first person I've ridden with who wasn't an Oblivion recruit. As far as I remember, at least, the memories for my regular days weren't exactly reliable. Come on, let's head inside. Hopefully the way will be clear of pasts today. Oh yeah, that's the old the spot. Follow me, Mameshiba. Mameshiba, let's go. What the frick is... Oh. Battle mode, let's go. Die, you creatures. Thanks. We can usually avoid such encounters, but sometimes they wander in and block the only path. Not that they slowed you down at all. I've never seen you fight up close before, and the surveillance feed clearly didn't do it justice. Hopefully that keeps the route clear for a while, shall we?
Whenever we lost a comrade, the three of us would come back here to reminisce. Me, Geode, and Kafkiwa.
Wait a minute, so does that mean that Shale is like an OG member? Like her, Kafkiwa, and Geode are like the main three that started, and then over the course more came. Maybe it's like that. Peekaboo. Oh, okay, now it's there. Do.
Will you raise a glass?
To Geode's memory. Oh, hi, Kryl.
What are the two of you doing here?
I had a feeling you'd show up. Would you like to join us?
I suppose I could spare a moment. They tell us Oblivion's founders disappeared some decades ago under mysterious circumstances. And it was Kafkiwa who revived our organization. You and Geode helped her with that, didn't you? Tell us more about it. You're keen to know too, right? What they were like back then. The mad things they got up to. That sort of thing.
Those were the days. It was actually right before the Reformation that I met Geode. I still wore a regulator then. I had recently lost someone close to me. I'd also quit a long stint as an adapter to work at a bar of all places. It paid me to sit with patrons and keep them company. So Geode came in one night. It wasn't long before we got into an argument. First-time customer, but tempers flared. And then one of us threw a punch.
You got into a fist fight? What were you even arguing about?
Damned if I know. We were deep in our cups. I think we were both just frustrated and angry at everything. By the end of it, we were both sprawled out in the street. Pair of drunken fools. Then this odd machine stopped to lecture us, scolding us for obstructing the foot traffic and not taking better care of ourselves.
I can't imagine you ever being in such a sorry state. The odd machine. That was Kennpaiii, I take it.
That it was. Once she was done upbraiding us for our unseemly behavior, she launched into a recruitment pitch. Kennpaiii explained that she wanted to protect the outside world from Zoralja's invasion, to keep him from bringing ruin to the place her beloved son lived. And if we were so intent on self-destruction, then perhaps we might consider risking our hides for a just cause. It was a lot to take in. I hadn't given much thought to what lay beyond the barrier, and learning that Kennpaiii herself was already dead was enough to make my head spin. But Geode and I were intrigued by her ideas, and wanted to see this future of hers come to pass.
Geode often spoke of it. He told me that meeting Kennpaiii was what first taught him the value of remembering people.
Like he was sharing a holy revelation.
Oh, but back then you hadn't yet taken on Oblivion's name, had you?
Is that so? I just assumed.
It hadn't been Kennpaii's intention to carry on Oblivion's legacy, nor adopt the cause your parents championed. Not initially, at least. She wasn't even aware such an organized resistance existed. She did, however, suspect the presence of other dissidents, those who objected to resurrecting the memories of the dead in defiance of the natural order. In the hopes of identifying like-minded comrades, we began searching the core system for traces of unauthorized access. And that's how we found it. An anomalous sector in the back of the Neon Stein. According to Melancholy, the door to that mystery had remained firmly shut since she took over the business.
The back room.
The back room. We forced our way in, only to discover that the hideout had long been abandoned. Although the occupants were gone, the equipment they'd left behind contained records of a group calling itself Oblivion. After reading through their exploits and their vision for the future, we made the decision to carry on their work.
Thus were my parents' and Kennpaii's hopes bound together.
And carried onward by Shale and Geode.
We could never have made it this far on our own, of course. Not without the strength of arms you and your friends provided. Losing comrades is a hard thing, but being here, thinking back on the moments we shared, I can see their smiles, hear their laughter. I feel their presence, and I know they're still with us. But these memories of mine are for me alone. Reminders of why I chose to do this. And why I'll stay the course. Right. Time we got back to work. Thank you, everyone.
No, it's me who should be thanking you. Though the pain is still deep, I don't feel like I'm drowning in it anymore. Let's get out there and put a stop to Calyx. For you, for me, and for everyone who's ever believed in Oblivion.
Well, that was a nice Shale moment. I appreciate you helping me through this. And not only the grief, you helped me see that my comrades mean even more to me than I realized, which only fuels my determination. I'll be spending every waking moment working to bring Calyx to account for his crimes. I'll do my part, then you do yours. Oblivion needs you. What if suddenly Oblivion is like the new Science of the Seventh Dawn? It's like the new ragtag group now. A darkness in the heart. It's time I went back to locating Calyx's lair. I have a new strategy in mind, but it remains to be seen if it will aid in narrowing down the possibilities. I'll ask Kyle for help. I want to re-examine the data, starting with that of her parents. After all, they were the first to break away from preservation and establish an organization resistance with Oblivion. There must be something in there that can point us in the right direction. What are your plans, Ken? Ken, is that you? Apologies for calling suddenly. I've been making the rounds in the outskirts, and I cannot help but feel as though something is amiss. Might I ask you to join me? Your perspective would be most appreciated. It can wait until you finish attending to Shale, of course. It seems your plans have been decided for you. Go on. I've others to speak with before I return to the back room. Okay then. Do. I'm just gonna teleport over there. Hi, Sven. Ken, thank you for coming. As I mentioned, I would benefit from your worldly experience. Perhaps it is my imagination, but the townspeople appear to be acting oddly. That is, even considering the current state of affairs. As I'm yet unfamiliar with the outskirts, I thought you might be better equipped to judge if their behavior is unusual or not. Would you speak with them and see what you think? Though I hope to be proven wrong, I fear something is not right here. Sure, I can do that. Yeah, me and the healer are thinking the same thing. You're not wearing a regulator. don't you know the end is coming? Well, it's your life to lose. Me? I got myself one of those neo-regulators and registered a little while ago. As soon as I did, a display appeared showing the number of registered users. Right now it's sitting at 4,168. The upper limit was 5,000, wasn't it? Seems the total shot up right after those machine malfunctions. It's only a matter of time before everyone's registered. A pity those who weren't chosen, but I'm going to be an endless. I'm going to evolve and live happily ever after. Sorry to say this, but you won't live happily ever after. That's how life and death is. That's how life and death is. Oh, please tell me you brought more neo-regulators. Officially, they've all been handed out already, but I've heard rumors there were a few left over. Surely the government still has some. Or perhaps Queen's Fiend? I may not look it, but I was a hunter once. Back then, I hardly gave death a second thought. But now that I know the truth, it's all I can think about. There has to be a way to hold on. There has to... Dorian! You can clearly see how much I played this game, considering that there's so many more blue quests I haven't done yet. Peppuane. Greetings. I remember when you visited with Queen's Fiend. Come to check on our well-being, have you? Well, I can say that things are rather stressful out here as well. Without knowing if or when our machinery might turn murderous, the spectre of death is ever present. People are terrified, and the clamor of neo-regulators has reached a fever pitch. I, personally, was fortunate to have claimed the new device early on, and have long since completed the registration. Death has no hold over me now. Now, I must begin my prayers. The darkness draws closer, grows deeper, and we must cast it out. As Fiend, they are normal. Wait, isn't that my regular button for... Huh. It's fine, I can just walk. So, what do you think? Was I right to worry? Yes, that is exactly it. The people are overwhelmed by uncertainty and fear, and with each new registration, that fear inside them grows more insistent. How long does it drive them into full-blown panic? Can you come to a resolution? We have a problem. I'm already here with Lamachi and Alphano. It sounds like she wants us there in a hurry. We should go. Thank you, game, for teleporting me to the destination rather than having me go all the way over to resolution. Why is the Miso terminal being shown?
What's happened? Sorry to drag you out here, but I thought it best you see for yourself.
Death may come ere you wake the following morn. Though you enjoy a life of peace and good fortune, death needs but one instant to claim you. Your bodies are weak. Your heart, your brain, every fragile organ rolls the dice from moment to moment. Sheer chance deciding if they function or fail. Be you stoic or generous or righteous, no virtues tip the scales in that fatal reckoning. The choice is made without reason. The end is cloaked in terror. That is what it means to die.
The announcement began after we finished our meeting with Gossen. As for its source, well...
Calyx.
There is no shame in being afraid. It is that very fear which will drive you to conquer death. Let us set a new course for mankind. Let us preserve our existence unto perpetuity. Hope for it, wish for it, pray for it. We will become endless. With evolution's brilliance will we banish the ever-present darkness of mortality.
Change isn't easy. No one ever wants to take the first step. But this is the right path for us. What other way could there be? I'm gonna do it. I'm going to register.
Val Wuklamat! You couldn't have come at a better time. Please, you have to let us move to Tuliolal.
It's too dangerous to stay here. Who knows when the next century will turn on us? Even if we wanted to become endless, there are no more neo-regulators to be had. Fleeing is our only option.
If the solution was as simple as leaving, then we'd all have left already. Did you not hear the announcement? For the living, death is a foregone conclusion. No matter where we go or who we shelter with, we won't get another chance like this to overcome our fate.
Easy for you to say when you have that regulator.
The Landsguard are on their way as we speak, and arrangements have been made to see that you all will be safely evacuated. Tulichola will aid you in whatever way we can. So please, remain calm.
I want to help Alexandria. I want to save its people. But what can I do? I am not their queen.
And you don't have to be their queen. Calyx has access to the core system, which means that if he chose to do so, he could deploy the soldiers beyond the barrier. Even if our people learn to live with death and decide to leave the dome behind, they will not be beyond his reach. Yet, if it serves to ally their fears even a little, I beg you, Wuklamat, please let them shelter in Tuliolal. We will welcome any and all who want to come. We've already begun evacuation, and will be able to pick up the pace once the Landsguard arrives. In which case, we best spread out and keep an eye on the crowds. The mood is tense, and we must prepare for possible violence. If you happen to determine where Calyx is hiding though, we'll be ready to move at a moment's notice. Surely we'll find a clue of some kind soon. He can't elude us forever. Oh, I thought the game froze for a second. Violence and fear. This is not the future she envisioned for her nation. Tuliholal will gladly welcome every last Alexandrian with open arms. But what of the nation the late queen was so desperate to preserve? What of the bright haven of peace and laughter? Man, I'm so confused sometimes, because when they talk about the late queen, they talk about the Queen of Reason, like the first Sphere, and the second Sphere, I'm just going to call her Evil Sphere, and now we have the OG Sphere, meaning that over the course of the game we have met 3 of them. 3 different Spheres, I think. Wuklamat. I won't stand here and let her legacy be sullied any further. I will protect Alexandria. That was the promise I made her at the last. But she betrayed you, did she not? Why do you feel this obligation? I saw myself in her, I suppose. We both felt the people's joy as our own, yet alone we lacked the strength to protect them. There's so much that I love in this world, too much for me to take in my arms and keep safe, and that made me afraid. I needed someone who shared the love and fear, so together we could do what we couldn't by ourselves. Or maybe it's simpler than that. Maybe I just wish that we could have been friends. So when she turned to me in her final hour, desperate to safeguard Alexandria's future, I swore that I would see it done. In the end, I think you both found the friend you needed. I'll be yours as well, Sphere. Whenever you fall or struggle to rise, I'll come running to the rescue, and you the same for me. That's how we'll protect the things we love. That's how we'll protect Alexandria. You're right. You're right. Don't forget about me. I'm still here. I'm the main character, you know. How could we? We'd not be where we are now without you. Right. We got a bit sidetracked there. We should probably be on our way. Do a patrol or see if Shale needs a hand. There you all are. Oh. Gululja. Ah, splendid. We were afraid we'd miss you. Alice and others said you were here. Good news, Ken. We finally found a chink in Calyx's armor. We discovered laboratories on Everkeep's 10th level that once housed a preservation initiative. Containment Complex 1029 it's called, and it's been falsely registered as a distribution center. In reality, it hasn't recorded any traffic in decades. We don't think this is where Calyx is hiding as such, but it may well contain clues that will point us in the right direction. I'm sorry it took us long just to get this far. If you're interested, what do you say we all go and check it out together? Thank you for all your hard work. This is a huge step forward. Hehe, and up. We need to take the lift to get to the complex. I've cleared this expedition with the relevant authorities, and have one of our people waiting to operate said lift. Let's not keep her waiting. Blah, 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 blah. Hi. Ah, crap. I kind of have forgotten. Is it keybinds? Or is it... Oh wait, okay, it's not keybinds. Is it... I just need to quickly do something. Gamepad. Button configuration. Yeah, I think I did something here. Change camera. Execute macro. Okay, I need to double check. I don't remember which macro it was in. Just a sec, I'm doing something. Okay, so it's... okay. 98, 99, okay. Okay. Oh, God damn it. Button configuration. And I think it should be that. Yeah, okay. That's what I've been doing with my sprint buttons, is that I don't need to zoom in the camera, so might as well do it that way. Welcome to the Governor's Sector. How may I be of service? We want to use the lift. You're a friend of Napi Quest? One of many, I'm sure. Such an amiable soul, and such a shame about the injury forcing her from the field. But what a career! I should think the better part of our data on the local fauna was collected by her and her followers. Followers who adore her to this day. I believe she was the one who introduced the idea of fighting between blades too. And look, that's how taken off. Wait. Off wait. Whoops, that's the wrong spot. Whoops, that's awkward. I'm not sure what they did. I was talking to the wrong character. I was talking with the wrong character. That's a bit awkward. Hey, lift attendant. Bam, bam. And here we are. The 10th floor. Man, it's so goddamn purple. Everything is purple.
So this is one of Preservation's laboratories.
It's so dark I can barely see.
Just a moment. If I can reroute the power to the circuit.
You got the lights working!
Smell how stale the air is. This room hasn't been in use for many years.
It was thanks to Kryl and Galulja that we managed to locate this place.
You may remember that my earring contained the control code for the gate to the Golden City. As it was Preservation that constructed the portal, we reasoned that the code to operate it might include a signature of some sort, unique to their organization.
So I took a closer look, and a line-by-line examination yielded a string of symbols identifying the code's author. We then began accessing the nodes for every door in Everkeep, seeking out control codes which contained those same symbols. After a grueling search, we finally discovered our prize behind door number 1860. the entrance to the facility in which we now stand. I'd probably still be at it if Galulja hadn't been around to assist me.
I took breaks, but Shale never stopped working. Not even once.
You're a treasure, Shale. I'm just gonna pick that. You're a treasure.
I can contribute precious little else, I'm afraid, but I appreciate your kind words. In any case, this next part will require your helping hands.
We need to spread out and search for something that may lead us to Calyx. We're more than happy to help, of course, but I wonder, won't he realize we've found this place?
It's highly likely, and personally I hope he does.
Well, because we're still searching for the guy, so might as well just find out. You all know our main objective. We had to pick up Calyx's trail. And I've learned of a certain device that should help us to do just that. I'll explain how as we proceed, but according to the information I was able to dredge up, the device in question should have been installed in the director's office. Now, as for where that might be, yes, this map matches my data. This room we're in is the research commons, located in the western side of the complex. The director's office is to the northeast of there. So, we should cut across this circular chamber in the middle, yes? Yes, we should, but unfortunately for us, the interior door is locked. We need a security key with the appropriate clearance to open it. Judging by the mechanism, it'll probably be a card of some kind. Can't you, work some electro magic? I'll try my best, but this type of lock is well before my time. It may take a while to crack it. And in any case I can't, you might want to look around and see if anyone left a security card behind. Considering the state of the place, it does seem like they abandoned it in some haste. I shouldn't be surprised if we found one. Very well, let's get to searching, shall we? I expect we'll have the most luck looking where the researchers kept their personal belongings. You begin searching Containment Complex 1029. Close cooperation will be necessary to overcome the obstacles bearing a path forward. Helpful hints will appear in a different color. Pay close attention to the information provided by your comrade should you find yourself unable to proceed. Okay. A few documents sit in an untidy stack atop the desk. You find no security cards hidden among them. This small shelving unit holds some office supplies and little else of note. This appeared to be the desk, only with drawers left open. You discover a card-shaped object. The electrode surface is marked with a bold level 1. Oh, could that be what we're looking for? Try it on the door and see if it opens. Probably not that. A scanning device. The card-shaped object you hold looks to be of a similar size to the scanner panel. You hold the card-shaped object to the scanner. It's open! You did it, Ken! And a good thing too. I was getting nowhere with that outdated circuit. I am curious though, why would they need to abandon a facility like this? It was run by a director Demetrius, or so that terminal there told me. Perhaps there are more answers to be had once we venture further inside. Then let's continue onwards. The door to the director's office is across the central hub. Wait, what was the purpose of... Was there any purpose of like the hint and... Okay. No good. Maybe we need a different card. Yes, the scanner is demanding a level 3 security clearance to open the lock. As much as the delay chafes me, we'll just have to comb through the nearby rooms and hope we stumble upon the card we need. Let's start our search in a Protolab. That door is already open, at least. We will find way through together. Shale, I'm sure of it. Going to the next spot. Today I began my employment at Preservation. The organization was unfamiliar to me, but when a recruitment letter arrived, I had a gut feeling that this work would be far more fulfilling than any orthodox medical practice. My instincts were correct. Master Calix's philosophy is the refined ideal of notions I've only ever vaguely entertained. That mankind must evolve beyond the shackles of its flesh and blood existence. I had a meeting with Director Demetrius today. I've heard others praise his genius intellect, yet he seems but a guttering candle in comparison to Master Calix's blinding brilliance. This morning I was permitted to access the top floor and observe the workings of living memory. As predicted, the shortage of ether required to sustain the Endless is reaching critical level, yet Queen Sphene insists on continuing her ineffectual failing. Our Milala colleagues, including the Protolab chief, have been behaving in a decidedly suspicious manner of late. Should I report my concerns to the director? From tomorrow, I have been assigned to assist with a research project in the Uru lab. We are scheduled to conduct a major experiment, the details of which I have been kept ignorant. It would seem prudent to back up my memory data. The way this room is set up. The canister inserted into the large device looks to be a soul cell. Could this be where they conducted their experiments to create Endless? But we could probably spend days investigating this complex. Finding a way into the director's office must take precedence. Speaking of which, Gulul Jah mentioned a locker over in the corner that he couldn't open. Perhaps you could take a look? I dug through this data tablet, I found a journal, I'll read it to you. The result of experiment 158 show a marked improvement in ether extraction rates. At last, we have achieved the target value set by Master Calix. Though I will become endless as per our ascendancy protocols, I will preserve this historic number along with my few remaining worldly effects. 158, I guess. I'm gonna try 158. What the frick? Oh, 158? 0000. Okay, so it's number and 158. Please excuse my impatience. The means to track down Calyx are close, and I'm itching to get my hands on them. Okay, so not. This machine feeds into a soul cell. Ugh, I'm reminded of my imprisonment by the Empire. Surely this device wasn't made to hold people. It looks so complicated. I shall have to ask Shale to teach me how to use these machines. This note seems to be about the research they did in here. Let's take a look. Experiment 148. Submit the interference candidate 201930 to be considering for efficiency. Experiment 58, maximum value of 11509 recorded. Comparatively study to be included in a report. Alright then. Oh, and one more. Experiment 163. New proposal produced a result of 9834. Decreased value verified. Oh no. Wait, so which number is that then? Is there some code here or something? Okay, so what? 11509. Okay, 11509. 11509. I think I'm not wrong. 11509. I did it! I'm genius. The locker opens up. Inside you discover a level 2 security card. I cracked the code, boys! You got the locker open. And you found another security card. Oh, but does that say level 2? We needed level 3, didn't we? Yes, but it still should open more doors for us to explore. You did well, Ken. Yeah, I'm smart. I'm a Dark Knight, so. These preservation members led such surprisingly normal lives. Leaving notes, losing their cards. I guess I imagine they'd be more, what's the word? Bloodless? Mechanical? My parents once part of preservation, if you'll recall. It would seem the researchers who agreed with Calyx and his philosophy underwent a conversion to endless entities. But they assumed those who could not, or would not, eventually left the organization altogether. Oh, I almost forgot. The researchers kept the journals in their data tablets. The one I read doesn't explain much, but something big happened in the complex, and afterwards it was decided that everyone would become endless. The writer was really happy about this. You could tell how much they admired Calyx and his work. The entries ended after that, but maybe you can read more in the other tablets there. Alright, let's move this investigation to another room. Well, we have the lab and the maintenance facilities left to search. Both are accessed via the southeast corridor. So it's back to the hub and a locked door across the way, which will hopefully yield before our new security card. I'll take the old one, if you like. I doubt we'll have any more use for it. Don't lose it. Please. Let's go. More place to look for stuff. It's time to stand. Huh? Yes, it opened. So where should we go first? The Dero 2 lab or facilities? Let's start with the lab. Shale, there doesn't seem to be any power here. No, none at all. It's possible the energy supply for this room is on a separate conduit, which means there should be a contingency for opening the door. Look here, there's a sign above the card scanner. In case of emergency, backup power can be rerouted from facilities. The facilities room is down the other branch of this corridor. Let's see about getting the power restored to the Duro lab, shall we? The frick is this? Wait, is that the freaking thing that Oh. Oh, I see where this is going. It's going to be like some sort of weird puzzle I have to do. I have to turn stuff around and I connect it to this one. That's what I think. Engaging power supply. No good. It's returning an error. There must be a preliminary procedure. According to this error code reference, if the power supply has been interrupted for an extended period of time, then we need to reconfigure both the emergency generator and the circuit control panels. Shale, that's the emergency generator over there, isn't it? Yes, and by the looks of it, it's the same model as the one used in Heritage Found. But how does it send power to the other lab? Ah, I see. The energy cable attached to the base of this terminal leads down the hall, directly to the Duro 2 lab, which means we need a way to connect the generator to that cable. What about these patterns on the floor? Could this be the circuit we need to reconfigure? I believe you have the right of it. Using the controls panel set into each of the tiles, we create an unbroken path for the power to follow. What they wouldn't give for an instruction manual. Indeed, if we could look around for any written procedures, I'll keep digging through the terminal directories. Might I also ask someone to operate a generator? I can do it. I've used that type of machine before. Then, would you be willing to try and reconfigure the circuit path, Ken? The rest of us can help by supplying Ken with whatever information might be found of circuitry configuration. I can do this, guys. I'm good at math. Which tile pattern will you this? I did it. The generator doesn't seem to need any fancy settings. As long as it's running and the circuit is fixed, we should have a power supply ready to go. Wait, isn't that it? Oh no, probably not. Maybe it's because of that thing. So I need to switch that to something else. Triangle. I did it. You have connected all the circuits. Inform the comrades of the successful reconfiguration. Yo, I'm smart. We did it, Ken. Yes, we did. the Dual Lab should now be fully powered. Well done, everyone. If I may, Shale, could we access a certain data log before moving on? I was checking the storage shelves and one of the labels caught my eye. Preservation, the early days is the title. Of course, it'll only take a moment to bring up the contents. Kotatsu. Ah, it looks to be a text-based account. I'll read it out. Preservation, an Alexandrian Institute for Technological Development, was founded by Calix, an 11-year-old child prodigy. Approval for establishing the organization came during Alexandria's involvement in the storm surge, with Calix's design for new defensive solutions funded in large part by the Treasury. As the conflict grew in intensity and casualties mounted, Calix funneled Preservation's resources towards the perfection of memory storage. Research into this field continued even after the storm surge came to an end, with Calix eventually electing to preserve his own memories in a virtual domain. So this account is from before he embraced his endless existence, hundreds of years ago. I met him only once, before the storm surge began. I was attending my father, who was then the reigning king of Alexandria. Wait, so how does she remember who he was based on just knowing him or met him once? Like, who does that? Calix could not have been more than 10 years of age, and required constant treatment for his debilitating illness. Yet still, he published theories so highly regarded that even the royal family was aware of his achievements. Life should not be lost to the injustice of death. Even now, I can hear the single-minded will behind his words. So it was that when war came to our kingdom, my father was quick to commit his unwavering support to this somber youth and his proposals for preservation. Several years later, the ensuing violence brought the death of both my parents. Overwhelmed as I was by sudden succession to the throne, I suspect this spared me the reports on endless research and other less urgent matters. So you had no way of knowing what kind of person Calix was changing into? Did he change? I wonder. Perhaps he's ever been a type to value ideals over compassion, and have failed to see it at the time. Or perhaps he did change, but is still driven by those same deeply held beliefs, that mortality is cruel and unjust, and his role is to deliver mankind from this fate. Whatever the case may be, we cannot allow him to shape our future. Let's press on, shall we? I've done my job correctly. The door to the Dual Lab should be accessible now. I'll give everything a once over just to be sure. Okay, I'm just gonna finish up this quest and then just take a small break. The energy current seems stable enough. Still, you should let me handle this one. The security card, if you please. Oh, and a quick prayer that the shortened wire doesn't burn me from the inside out. Don't freaking say that. What if it does? A calculated evolution. Okay, I'm just gonna take a quick break, so I'll be right back. Hello. I'm back for my tiny break. A calculated evolution. Right, let's get this door open. Phew, smooth as silk. Let's head inside and see what awaits. gods above, isn't that? Wait, so he also has the key? The key to interdimensional fusion? That looks to be the schematic on the monitor. I never used it to make another key, but isn't it missing the shard inside like the one Ken has? Ah, we may have been laboring under a misconception. The key was originally a Milal relic. Once this treasure came into his possession, Preservation began working to harness the power to cross dimensions. Aside from the crystal, we can see that all the vessel's components were constructed here. So what might that tell us? The crystal itself is the key. That would be the logical conclusion, yes. It is my parents explained. The key remained shrouded in mystery. Preservation augmented it with electrope, but never grasped the technology's underlying principles. To this day, not a single person understands the mechanics of interdimensional fusion, not to imbue the key with its power, not when they did so, nor why. Now it makes sense. Kaliska tracked the key because its vessel was made by Preservation. I believe there's much we may learn in this room. On our next visit, I will have to enlist Gustola's assistance for a thorough investigation. I too am curious about the great many things, but pinning down Kaliska's whereabouts is our priority. Hopefully there's a security card here that can grant access to the director's office. The research conducted in this lab appears to have been highly confidential in nature. Some of the personnel must have belonged to the organization's upper echelons, and that means higher security clearance. We should spread out and look for any cards they left behind. Remember, anything less than level 3 is no good to us. Wait, ain't that just nice saying? Storage crate! None of which is security card, okay. You find a security card in the cabinet drawer. Well, if it's exactly what we needed, nice work, Ken. Oh, I found it, let's go. Ooh, a level 3! That should get us into the director's office. So, what was it that you were hoping to find in there again, Shale? You were saying that a certain device was going to help us. Right, I haven't properly explained myself, have I? I'm looking for a data relay. What the fuck is that? After we discovered this ostensibly abandoned complex, I performed a cursory investigation which detected the connection to an outside network. When I traced the data's routing, I confirmed traffic from a web of Everkeep security cameras. Considering the way Calix is always one step ahead of us, we must assume he has quietly seized control of the city's surveillance system and has been using it to monitor our activities. To monitor what you, as the key holder, are planning. But as Calix is the ultimate recipient of those transmissions, the flow of data is like a river that we can follow back to him. Which is why I need a data relay. If I can analyze the device, I see where it's rerouting all the surveillance traffic. Then you can pinpoint Calix's position. That said, he has done nothing to impede our progress, which makes me think it might be on entirely the wrong track. Maybe the reason he isn't stopping us is because he can't? Back in the old castle, Calyx said he was measuring Kant's strength. What can he possibly dream of that's stronger than him? God of fear and hunger. Oh, speaking of cameras, there was another thing I meant to mention. I found evidence that someone deliberately disabled the surveillance feed in this room. The most recent recording was also crudely deleted. I was able to restore the data though, if you'd like to see it. I'll start the show then. So someone went in and deliberately did something. What if it's just...
Are you really planning to leave?
Yes. The idea of eternal life. It's begun to frighten me.
As it should. Like, that things should, like, be scary.
I struggle to renounce our conventional wisdom. Death is the means by which life prunes its branches, leaving the trunk to grow strong and tall. We die so that our species may flourish. What would become of mankind were we to halt that process? If unending stagnation is the fruit of our labor, then perhaps we strive for the wrong thing.
Your argument is a rejection of Master Calyx's vision.
I suppose it is. Perhaps such dread would not plague me, were I capable of sharing his perspective on the subject. But I cannot. He and I are too different, in too many ways. I lack his extraordinary genius. I had no illness threatening to cut my life short, no singularity of will to cut away all distractions and focus solely upon research. I have nothing but respect for his determination, the way he overcame his prognosis and seized the means to transcend death itself. But I'm not convinced that this obsession with living is the right path. That's why I've decided to leave preservation and put all my effort towards building a legacy for the next generation to come. Surely you...
Protocol, you understand. There can be no exceptions.
Well, ain't that just traumatizing? She only wanted to leave and he executed her. I checked the images against the personal data, and the man who pulled the trigger was Director Demetrius himself. Everything I could find on him pointed to a deep infatuation with Master Calyx. The cameras in this room have been out of operation ever since that incident. Given that the recording was erased, I can only assume that he was trying to conceal his grisly deed from the other researchers. I am not surprised, given how my parents described their defection from the Institute. They spoke of rushing me through a portal, even as Preservation's agents closed in on them. I dared not to ask what became of them after that. But if it turns out they were captured by the pursuers... the Kryl story plot that should have been more of. Like, that's one of the main things about the main story of Dawntrail I was really disappointed about, if I'm being honest here. Because it made it seem like Kryl was going to have more of a bigger role. Like, you know what? What they could have done, though, well, at least in my opinion, is just have both Wuklammat and Kryl kind of be the main characters, if that makes sense, in Dawntrail. Like, let Kryl and Wuklammat like talk to each other more, because again, both of them have something in common. Something like that. So instead of us going around like, talk to Wuklammat, like that quest, it could be like, Kryl, Wuklammat, Kryl, like, stuff like that. Like, change it up. They did not regret their actions, I think. Right, the Echo. Knowing you saw them as they were, your words give me great comfort. Oh, Kryl. Worry not, Sphene. Thanks to the Haven of Living Memory, I was at least able to meet my parents and learn what they stood for. It is enough for me to carry on. Even now, we don't know how the conflict unfolded between your parents and Preservation. But what we do know is that your mother and father cleverly expunged every last trace of their movements. They made sure no one could cross into the source or threaten their child's safety. Right, let's press on, shall we? This tale behind the key deserves a fitting conclusion. To the director's office! I just had to, sorry. Hi guys! Dun dun. I know, so I'm so quiet all of a sudden. Like, the music strangely reminds me of something from FF9. I can't put my finger on it, what exactly it's from, but I feel like it's somewhere. Scanning card. There we go. Let's head inside. Now to find a data relay. And don't be shy, everyone. Speak up if anything odd catches your eye. Ken, come with me. I might have need of that security card. Damn, this terminal isn't connected to any outside networks, so it can't be the data relay I'm looking for. This office is also smaller than the map suggested. I'm positive we're in the right room. What am I missing? Sorry, Ken. Could I ask you the others to search the office for any clues this infuriating puzzle? The collection of soul cells may have once belonged to the director. They appear to be empty. Cool. You find a corrupted note wedged between the fire blinders. Oh. Security room lift access. Required password to be input simultaneously at terminals in the Proto Lab, the Duro Lab, and the Director's Office. Having lain dormant for years, the now active coffee maker has already entered the self-cleaning cycle. It appears to have none other purpose beyond brewing coffee, though it remains to be seen when it will be able to do so once more. Amongst other personal effects, you find what is presumably the director's data tablet. A closed locker stands next to the table. You pick up the data tablet and begin skimming through the contents. The mystery of the key's activation condition remains unsolved. The key triggered an explosion today. Temporary interdimensional portal verified. Continued attempts to stabilize the core's energy reactions. 13 researchers sustained fatal injuries in the explosion. Memory faculties of 4 personnel sufficiently intact for endless conversion. Remaining 9 designated for ether reclamation processing. Nothing of note. Rejected resignation of 2 Milala researchers. Major incident. Details in full report. Those 2 inept Milala broke with preservation and absconded with the key. Though the fugitives have since been caught and eliminated, we were too late to recover the relic. The only reason we retained our flesh was to serve Master Calyx as a physical instrument to conduct his experiments. Deprived of the object of our research, our existence serves no further purpose. I dare not imagine the depths of his disappointment in me. The complex is to be shut down. All personnel will have their bodies reduced to ether, which will be allocated for further experimentation. Memory data will be archived. Any endless conversions will be subject to Master Calyx's discretion. If he does not deem us fit, then we are not deserving of eternal life. All personnel have undergone processing. Once the shutdown protocols have been completed, I will proceed with my own corporeal dissolution. As long as the key remains in the physical world, we must keep this complex of pristine condition, whatever need be needed for experiment or otherwise. It must be ready to support future operations in whatever capacity Master Calyx requires. To that end, facility equipment will be maintained in stasis mode. Furthermore, a critical component for secure room access will be stored separately to defend against unauthorized entry. The door to the locker swings open easily. What the frick? It contains nothing of note to quietly shut down. Well, that's... It seems like this Demetrius guy was... had a big affection for Calyx. Like a strange obsession. Have you found something? I found a crumpled note. Thank you. A misplaced note, was it? With instruction of accessing a secure room, no less, seems we need to enter a password on 3 different terminals at the same time. There was no such room marked on the map, was there? No, a precautionary measure, no doubt. And if passwords are involved, I expect the access lift itself is concealed too. Concealed? By electrope, you mean? Ah, could it be that wall? I thought it seemed odd when I walked past. I didn't think about it. Remember what Kennpaiii used to say, shale? Never trust an electrope surface. Electrope is not always what it seems to be. Oh, of course. Electrobe is how you alter the look of all of Solution's night floors and walls, isn't it? In which case, it should be too hard to disable. Disabling. Another door! I managed to deactivate the protection, but the lock is another story. Didn't that note lay out the password protocol? I say we go ahead and try it. I agree. 2 people should prepare a lab terminals for inputs while the rest of us look for passwords here in the office. I'll take the proto lab. Then I'll take the dual lab. Actually, it might be better if you stayed, Sven. Your knowledge of Alexandria and his people could be needed here. Yes, you're right. If the passwords are hiding behind clues, that may be something I can help with. I can help too. I lived my whole life in Alexandria after all. I would take the Dawntrail lab duty then. We can keep in touch via communicator to match our timing. That's just gonna be freaking annoying if you have to go in the door. What are you gonna do then? If you don't have enough people? On for entering the office password. Once we determine what we need to input, take your place at this terminal. I stand by you to guide Wuklemat and Kryl through the process. You know, there was that display plate over there. The one with the gems. I thought so it was made of electrope, it might have some other purpose. But I couldn't find any switches or buttons to make it do anything. Maybe you can figure it out. Two jewels are embedded in his electrode plate. You identify the blue gem as a sapphire and the red gem as garnet! There also appears to be empty slot for another jewel to feel. Nah, I'm not going to look at the locker. I should take a closer look at these reports. One of them might have hints to the passwords. I kept searching the drawers with the books and found a cube puzzle made of electrope. It's probably just a toy, but maybe. You got it! Let's see if I move this bit, then connect this circuit to that one. There! Huh? There was something inside. It's a pretty green stone. I think it might be Alexandrite. They say these gems were so treasured in the past that they were named the kingdom after them. Here, you should hold on to this one just in case. Well, I know where to put that, so... The gemstone fits snugly into place. Almost immediately afterwards, the glowing lines of a diagram appear on the display, accompanied by a short phrase. A floor plan of this complex. As you continue studying the display, you realize that these shapes correspond to the rooms of the complex in which you now stand. This may be related to the password you were looking for. This slot contains a sapphire. Its place in the floor plan corresponds to the proto-lab. Alexandrite. Yes, I knew that jewel will come in handy. Let me see. Heed the stones? This must be about the special meanings Alexandrians have for gems. It's an old belief, I think, where each type of gem means something different. I bet if you ask Sven, she could tell you more about it. After all, even her name comes from a gemstone. Oh, there. Is it weird that I actually kind of like this segment? I kind of prefer that way. Instead of the game literally just telling me, oh, you'll go there, go there, go there, go there. Like, you can just see it on the map. Oh, okay. Yes, if you have questions, you need only ask. Well, I was taught that Alexandria represents the concept of protection. It is, incidentally, also the origin of Alexandria's name. Oh, are you thinking this has something to do with the passwords? A sapphire and garnet as well, you say? Yes, they all have meanings. Alexandria, as I said, protection. Sapphire represents honesty, and garnet symbolizes devotion. We should try these words at the terminals and see if they are accepted. I certainly hope we are right. Here, Wuklamatica waiting on the passwords. Let's start Wuklamatica. What should she have? Frick! I forgot which one is Protolab. Which one was it again? Wait, what's she saying? Alexandria represents protection, sapphire, honesty, and garnet, devotion. Okay, so what's Protolab? Okay, so it's sapphire then. Okay, so what was sapphire? Honesty. Okay. For the dual lab. Was it devotion and a protection? Did it! I'm a genius. Open sesame. Oh, I'm so glad that worked. That secure room is the only place we've yet to reach. Search. If the data relay is anywhere, it has to be there. We'll venture in as soon as Wuklamat the Kral rejoin us. Alright everyone, time to board the lift and see what awaits us. And Calyx pops up, be like, hey boys, I know what you're doing, you can't hide from me.
This terminal doesn't look special to me, but this is definitely what we're after?
It is, but whether or not it will suffice for our purposes is another question.
The Endless are created using the memories of the deceased. But as memories are, in essence, collections of data, the resultant entities have no physical form. These data entities, as we might call them, have only two methods for interacting with the material world. One of these we saw in Living Memory, where the Endless are granted temporary bodies through the use of corporeal ether. They become much like solid ghosts that one can see and touch. The other method, which Kennpaiii employed, is the remote operation of a machine. But where do you suppose the Endless are to be found when not inhabiting a physical body?
The Endless are memories, and if memories are data, then...
Yes, we suspect they reside in a virtual domain, one contained entirely within an electrope-based machine. We've seen such a realm before, after all.
Oh, you mean like the Alexandria made from the Endless Fiend's memories? It all seems so real.
So this virtual domain, it would also be housed within the Meso Terminal.
But how? I thought we shut down all the terminals in living memory.
You did. And Kafkiwa's program performed just as she intended. The Meso Terminal itself was deactivated, as evidenced by the failure of the device which was keeping Spheen's body in stasis. Be that as it may, we face a master of electrope engineering. That he managed to partition and protect the sector harboring his own memories is well within the bounds of possibility.
Let us say that the Meso Terminal does indeed contain a second domain, and that Calix himself resides there. This city, on the other hand, exists here in the source. That being the case, I thought perhaps we could prevent his remote interference by closing the gate to the Golden City, and thus severing the connection between worlds.
Except I tried to close it once already when I visited Living Memory. The process required administrative authorization, a restriction I assumed at the time had been imposed by the Queen.
But now you think Calix might be responsible.
Just as I suspected. Even now, security transmissions from throughout the Keep are being tapped by the core system and routed elsewhere. Almost every single one has you as its focus. He's keeping track of the keyholder's movements.
Time's up, and what a waste of time it's been.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. I knew you were there this entire time. Yo, Calix.
Hoping to find me by tracing security data? That will not be necessary.
What if Calix is not an actual person, but data itself, or like some sort of AI in a computer? Because I don't think we have seen him actually move around. I don't think so. So maybe the real Calix is already dead, and the Calix we see now is just a memory AI in a data. Maybe.
Through a not inconsiderable effort, I've taken your measure and prepared a force sufficient to subdue you. Come. I invite you to the upper reaches of the Meso Terminal. The storage device which holds my memories is there. Break the memory bank and victory is yours. I, in turn, will seek to wrest the key from you with any and every means at my disposal.
And if we refuse this invitation?
I will wait and continue to convert Alexandrians into Endless. Consider the urgency of the situation and make the wiser choice.
Answer me one question, Calix. The Endless Fiend. When she was queen, you had her face an impossible task. then manipulated her into using the key when she was at her most desperate. If you can do all that, then why not whisk it away when her plans went to ruin? Why let it fall into our hands?
Wait, so Endless Fiend. Wait, so the Endless Fiend was the first fiend we met? While the Queen of Reason is the... Wait, no. Is it, or is it opposite? So we met the Queen of Reason, then Endless Fiend, and then the OG's Fiend. Man, this is confusing.
You pour salt in the wound. That disaster was a miscalculation on my part. As her end drew near, Sphene and her restructured memories had become one with the terminal's control systems. In that singular place, in that singular moment, she wielded an authority greater than mine. Thus she was able to shield you, the neighboring sovereign to whom she entrusted her nation's future, and the hero to whom she entrusted that priceless key. I am unsure to what degree she perceived my presence, but she knew that someone was watching. Does that satisfy your curiosity?
It does. And I'm satisfied that you will take nothing more from this nation. Not one more life, not one more future, not one single smile from another child's face. You hear me? Sorry for losing my temper. But there's only one way we can deal with people like Calyx. Whatever grand future he envisions, someone will be made to pay the price. And I won't let that happen.
If I may, I realize it is not my place to say this. Even so, I must thank you both. On behalf of my other self, allow me to say how grateful I am to have you as our champions.
So we're going back to living memory, I guess. Phew. Well, that was an adventure. It may have not been the method Shale was hoping for, but at least now we know where to find Calyx and what we need to do next. Indeed. While I remain curious about Preservation's research into the key, that is an investigation for another day. Then let's head straight to the back room. We should get everyone on the same page before we make our move. Hey guys, you didn't pay the lift fare? Hi, Evan. I kind of. Oh, he's. Okay. Damn the bastard, Calyx. He waited until I was this close before snatching away my moment of triumph. And that infuriating, condescending way he spoke to us. We'll see those time is up, you smug little weasel. Anyway, I know things didn't go to plan, but we learned a great deal about preservation. That knowledge could come in handy in the days to come. Though I may not be able to contribute much to a direct confrontation, I mean to see this through with you all, providing whatever support I can. One of our own. Ken, we briefed Erenville on everything that has happened and sent words to the others. But now, we have now but to consider what our next actions will be. Go to Miso Terminal and freaking take out Calyx. That's the idea. Calyx has offered you the opportunity to confront him directly. And though it feels much like striding face first into an ambush, we have little choice. If we are to destroy the memories he supposedly has stored in upper reaches of the Miso Terminal, then that is where we must go. While I'm still upset at being deprived of my moment, I nevertheless did my due diligence. I can confirm that the relay was indeed transmitting surveillance data to a device somewhere in living memory. When you go to fight Calyx, pray let me fight alongside you. Let me fight for the memory of Otis and Zelenia, and for the other fiend I may have become. But, most importantly, for my beloved kingdom and a joyful tomorrow. Thank you for understanding what this means to me. I'll be coming with you as well. You know my reasons. It's hardly needs saying, but your fellow Scions also have every intention of accompanying you into battle. So adamant were LSA and others on this point that they were already left for living memory. I'm more than ready to do the same. I'll keep patrolling the streets of signs of trouble, especially from anyone wearing Neo regulators. Should you need anything from me, I'll be on standby here in the back room. I really want to go with you too, but I know I can't. I know that sometimes you have to be patient and trust in your friends. Yes, small boy. And I think we should talk to Gozan before we leave for living memory. Under Calyx's direction, preservation has helped shape Alexandria's society for centuries. Taking him down will have serious consequences, and we need to warn the officials in charge about what we intend. Justifications aside, we shall be acting against the wishes of all who desire to become endless. Exactly. We don't know if Gosa will approve or oppose our chosen course, but either way, leaving without a word is the wrong thing to do. Come, we should be on our way. Resolution first, yes? Be safe, everyone. We'll see you when it's over. Oh shit, this about to happen. Speak with Gozan. Okay, where was I supposed to go again? Resolution. Man, this place is way too big. I don't like that. Gozan-sir! So, we plan to assassinate Calyx. Is that fine by you?
see. A difficult situation. In the absence of an official sovereign, I agree that it is not Preservation's place to dictate the future of our nation. However, I also cannot simply take a side and declare my support for your efforts to defeat Calyx.
Is that because of the new regulator you wear?
I've yet to register it. I find myself caught between the fear of dying and the desire to carry out the duties of governance. My greatest concern is how we shall stem this ever-increasing terror of mortality when becoming endless is no longer an option. And that's to say nothing of the recent slaughter committed by our own soldiers. The fact that such violence was perpetrated for the very purpose of creating Endless will, paradoxically, make it more difficult to endorse your chosen course. It may not seem logical, but for those who lost friends and family in the attacks, halting the creation process altogether would render the deaths of their loved ones utterly meaningless. Is it not cruel to rob them of what little solace they could claim, when we have only just learned what it is to mourn? Tell me, how are we meant to overcome such tragedies?
We stop begging others to teach us for a start. For the longest time, we've been protected by Queen Sphene and the systems put in place by our forebears. The hardships and responsibilities of life were distant things, and we felt entitled to our comforts, even as we barely noticed those who risked everything to keep us sheltered. But no more. From now on, we need to learn on our own. How to live with the promise of death. How to endure the pain of loss. We may never learn to love such things, but we may learn to survive them. The people beyond the barrier, even the Alexandrians of old, they've all had to live with these fears. There's no reason we can't do it too.
What are you all doing here?
Malachite called us in, and the Oblivion members briefed us on the current crisis. You don't stand idly by while your house burns down. We came together and thought about how we could help. Long story short, we've decided to join the fight alongside Oblivion. I say fight, but we're well aware of how little use we'd be in actual combat.
A battle of ideas, on the other hand. Now that we might be qualified to do something about. We'll talk to our neighbors and do our best to quell their fears. Convince them to make the most of this life and enjoy all it has to offer. Perhaps that will help to ease your burden.
It certainly will. Even if a few are assuaged by your words, it will make things easier.
Those who have already registered will be difficult to sway, but there are still many who waver. Those are the ones we'll concentrate on.
Gossen, if you truly care for the people of Alexandria, then now's the time to start thinking of ways to prevent more deaths.
Were I to become endless at the expense of my countrymen's lives, I would regret it for the rest of my existence. Forgive my weakness. When the people have lost their way, it falls to the government to support and guide them. Alexandria can rise above this sorrow and find its way forward once more. Is that not so, Your Majesty?
Indeed it is. No, that wasn't... what I meant to say was...
Calm down, Sphene.
Amity, you used her name.
Shit is going in the wrong direction.
The perfect resemblance to our beloved Queen Sphene has not escaped our notice. Yet we also understand that you are not her. Having to live in secret, unable to share who you really are, that must have been hard on you. When you come back, please tell us all about yourself. I imagine yours is a rather outlandish story, but we're eager to hear it all the same. You're one of us, an Alexandrian, and we don't abandon our own.
I promise to return. And when I do, I look forward to speaking with you all.
Yay. Everyone was so warm and welcoming. Alexandrians are, as ever, a stalwart people. How glad I am to be home. Thank you, Gosan. That decision must have been difficult to make. If only I could claim the courage to do so came from within. The final push came from Alexandrian citizens. And the bravery in taking the first step towards change. Speaking of which, can I ask you to lock that Neo-regulator away where no one can get to it? That should prevent the registrations from reaching their target number. I should be glad to do so, but I fear it would be to no avail. According to our most recent surveys, the number of Neo-regulators in circulation exceeds the stated 5,000. I surmise the surplus units are to account for those like myself who had a change of heart, or are otherwise hesitant to register. That sounds something like Calyx would do. Well, we'll have to face him either way, so no point in delaying the inevitable. On to living memory. Bam, bam, boom, ba, da, boom, dun, dun. There it is, Arcadian.
Things seem much the same.
So listen, you have nothing more to fear than any other normal day. Deep breaths. We'll get through this.
You'd be telling them much the same if you were here. I suppose it falls to me now.
Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Ah, it is good to see our comrades hale and girded for battle. And for us, we've been ahead to inspect the lay of the land. There were no changes of note, aside from with the Meso terminal itself. Why? What's happened to the Meso terminal? The wall has receded to provide a convenient entrance into the structure's interior. There was no such ingress when last we were here, so we must assume the Callus has thus manipulated the terminal's electrope. All to facilitate his most gracious invitation to the upper levels. An invitation I am eager to accept. For the sake of all who love Alexandria, I will not yield nor leave them to despair. Terminal invitation. To be honest there, I feel a bit tired, so I think I will continue this tomorrow around the same time-ish, which is my time, like 6 o'clock. Don't know about you guys. But yeah, I will continue this tomorrow. And yeah, we shall talk with each other later.